Matcha with Jaja. So today I would like to cover the topic of training and how to train. This is a question that I've been getting a lot during the years of me traveling and teaching. People asking me, how do you practice? How do you train? They always say, you just go into my room, I put on the music and I can freestyle for, 30, 45 minutes, and then I ran out of ideas. And afterwards, I enter battle and I dance completely different than I dance at home. The faith and the security of the home just goes away and I don't really know how to dance in the battle, right? So this is the topic that we are going to be covering today. I divide my training into 4 different categories. Each category represents 25% of the training, and together it represents the 100% of the training. So the first category, the 25% of your training, would be practicing and training home, self-reflecting, home, by yourself, really putting in the work, thinking about what exactly you're doing, what is your body, what are your muscles doing, what is your mental state doing and thinking, what kind of techniques are you training on, what is the goal that you have for today's practice. Write down maybe a couple things that you want to practice on today, and don't finish the practice until you check off all these things. Same thing next day. You can go over the things that you were practicing on yesterday, and today you will write down 5 more things that you will be practicing on today, and do not finish your practice until you check off all the things. So for example, today I will be practicing on footwork, floor work, some body control techniques. Then I will be connecting the footwork, floor work, and body control techniques together and freestyling on it. And then I will practice on the bounce. Each category is going to take me minimum 20 minutes to practice, and I am not going to finish my practice until I will be done with every category and I will check it off. You will find yourself in a more productive state in your practice. You will find yourself that you are getting way more done, and you will find yourself that you are actually thinking about what you are doing more in your dance. Another great way of practicing at home is for sure not in the mirror. I would never recommend to be practicing into the mirror when you are practicing home. Maybe only use the mirror if you are practicing on some kind of certain techniques and you want to see how it looks, but never freestyle. If you want to see your progression or you want to see what you need to work on, I would take your phone or camera and record yourself on your phone and then watch the footage back. I would recommend this. Don't watch the footage during your practice. Watch it afterwards, because once you are on the phone or into the footage, it's going to be really hard to come back into the physical practice again. So once you record yourself, you're going to see what you need to work on. For example, my right arm is moving too much and my left one is not working enough. Or I'm not changing levels. Or my body is always to the front instead of using the dimensions. Or my feet are not moving enough. Then you can take these points and the next day write these points down, and you are not going to finish the practice until you check everything off. So that's a home practice. Home practice is also being creative, practice on some kind of creativity. Either you are making up moves, or you are working with invisible props or with actual props, or you are just creating different kind of angles that you usually don't use, or you can be creating something on the floor, right? Those are just examples. Another way is to practice technique and drill. So drilling is I think, a little bit easier than creating, because drilling is something that just needs repetition, doing one thing over and over and over, correct? So you are going to pick a set of moves that you want to do, and then you're just going to be practicing it over and over. You can practice it in one way, then you can change the textures of it, then you can change the textures again, you can change the speed of it, you can change the dimensions of it, you can change the levels of it, you can change the shape of it, you can change the size of it. So there is, again, so many different things how you can be drilling and using creativity on top of your drills as well. Okay, so that's one idea of how you can do your home practice. The second category, another 25% of your practice, is actually putting your home practice in an experience, which means sessions, battles, ciphers, sharing with a friend. This is very, very important. Now, this category has a subcategories as well. It's really important that you are going from your home practice into first step, sharing with your friend. I would recommend to share with one friend or two friends or three friends first before you are going to be sharing it with a group, because usually the pressure of one friend works way better than a large group. For me, this was some of the most nerve-wracking thing to do, to actually share my ideas and my practices with one friend, because I would have the insecurity of being judged. I would have the doubts, is this good enough or is it not? But ultimately, this is only in your head. If you believe in what you're doing and you have faith in what you're doing, that belief is going to translate into your moves, your creativity, and your techniques as well. So really important to share with your friend, because your friend might give you affirmations which feels good, or your friend might give you critiques which will make you think of, okay, what do I need to work on better? Or your friend might give you an advice or tip, or your friend might help you on how to make it better as well, yeah? Then, sessions and ciphers. Very important to actually put your home practice into a session where there is no pressure of a competition yet. And actually have the exchange, and have the exchange not just of the dance, but have the exchange of the energy with others. Because this is going to get you comfortable. Of course, it might be full of fear for somebody in the beginning to jump into the session. Again, I was one of those people that was really, really afraid to jump into the session. Because I would feel like I need to prove myself, or I would feel judged. But again, it is only in your head. So jump into the session. If you're afraid to jump into the session, ask a friend to push you into the session, and work on the skill of exchanging energy and exchanging dance with others. The next step is the battle. Once you do your home practice, you share with a friend, you go experience it in a session, then you can go into a battle. Don't skip the steps in between. It doesn't work to go from a home session into battle right away. You might be full of insecurities and doubts, and you might not be performing in a way that you would wish so. And that's usually the case. You go into a battle and you might feel like, oh, the music wasn't right, oh, I wasn't feeling it, or the hype wasn't right, or I didn't feel good today, or I ate some bad food today and it didn't make me feel in the state of mind that I need to be. Those are just excuses. Once you are going to get comfortable with the home practice, sharing, experiencing in a session, you are going to have no issue to jump into the battle and actually be comfortable with whatever is your state of mind, whatever the music is, whatever the judges are, whatever the hype is. You will be comfortable in your movement, you will trust yourself, you will believe yourself. Usually these insecurities and doubts come up because we don't trust ourselves enough, right? So the first step is the home lab, home practice. The second step would be sharing with a friend, session and cipher, and then battle. Another 25% of your practice is actually research and networking with people. It's really important to talk to people about dance, about history, about different techniques that they've been working on. It's important to listen to different stories. It's important to research different dance events and the generation that came before us, or even the next generation that is coming up. I feel like this is a really great way of sharing energy with other dancers too, in a different way than just dance. Just talk. I love talking and having conversations to dancers because many times I find very interesting facts and different things that I normally would not find out. In this category of the 25% of training, I would also include taking a class. The reason why I'm not putting taking a class in a separate category, because I feel like really the networking and the talking about dance and taking the class is really connected and has something very much to do together. Because when you are talking about dance with other dancers, you are exchanging energy, and when you are taking a class, you are also exchanging an energy. And another reason why I put taking a class in this category as a subcategory is because I feel like dancers put so much importance on taking a class nowadays, and that is their only training. I think taking classes is a great way of training, but definitely and 100% not the only way of training. So yes, taking class is important. Taking classes in different styles just to make your vocabulary bigger is important as well. Definitely not the only way to train. So the last category of your training, the other 25%, very, very important and maybe surprising for other people, is visualization. Visualization is a mental practice in your head, and you are actually visualizing your practice. So you can be visualizing whatever you were working on at home. You can be visualizing taking a choreography class. You can be visualizing being in a battle and competing. You can be visualizing a performance. You can be visualizing an intimate session training. It's really unlimited, and there is so many possibilities in your imagination that you can be practicing on. This practice you can also be doing when you are injured, when you are sick, when you are stuck at home, when you are washing dishes, when you are driving, and it is also a part of meditation. You are visualizing on a certain moment and movement, which is ultimately translating into your physical body as well. There was actually a scientific study and research where they had a basketball team practicing physically for 6 weeks, and then practice basketball team practicing mentally only, visualizing for 6 weeks, and the results were the same. Maybe the team that was doing visualization had even better results. So this practice will also help you a lot with your focus, concentration, and manifestation as well. Because if you will be able to visualize a whole dance battle in your head, how you're dressed, what kind of music is playing, who is watching, who is the judge, how are you dancing, what is your opponent dancing like. If you are able to visualize that without interruption of other thoughts, you are going to be set on focus and concentration in your dance in general. So this is the categories I would like to break down. Again, for me there's 4 categories, main ones, which is the home practice, which can be technical, creative, drilling. Then you have the experience, where you put it in a session, cipher, battle, sharing with a friend. Then you have the network, research, and taking a class. And then you have the visualization. And that, my friends, is the ultimate dance training.